So here's the thing, guys. We've read the comments. I know that our Beverly Hills recap is a bit negative. I know that we've been a little bit down. And look, we're gonna rethink how we're gonna watch this show. Okay, because we do want to have a silly, goofy, fun time with you. We don't like being serious and negative. So we're gonna switch the script, flip the script, whatever you want to do with the script. That's what we're gonna do.
I'm just gonna have a great time with it, honestly.
We're gonna have a good time. So welcome back to the Good Time Bros. Oh, that sounds like a bad OnlyFans.
Or a great OnlyFans.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite show from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Sedona Magona. What's up, dude?
I forgot that we were in Sedona.
Same.
It's kind of weird, actually. I mean, we talked about it in the cold intro. We did have to get one episode out just complaining so that you guys know how we actually feel about it. But now I feel like I'm just going to make fun of a lot of the things that are on this show. And that's probably par for the course for the rest of the season. That way I don't get mad and it just kind of protects me. But it did feel like, yeah, I need protection. I did feel weird when I watched this because it did feel like we had a holiday break with this show, even though there was no break from week to week. Like, we're still in Sedona. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this show in like 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on in my brain about Beverly Hills, but it's a very weird place to be right now.
No, I think I didn't even think about that till you said it. I felt the same way. It felt like, it's like, oh, it's Beverly Hills is back. All right, let's catch up. I don't know. I mean, it is certainly interesting to watch in a lot of ways. Amanda is awful. And I said that she was worse than Anne Marie, and you're like, no, she's not. I think she's giving her a run for her money. I really do, because this was banana land watching her navigate this episode.
But it's still mildly entertaining, and I think I can probably talk myself into delusionally thinking that Amanda's funny. Like, I really do think it's right there. I think it's within my grasp to convince myself that she's actually the only funny person on this show, and intentional or unintentional, I don't care, because it's a little like bright spot for me to just kind of work through this cast. I said it last week, like I'm rooting for everybody on this cast. I want them all to do well. They all have storylines that are like, I need to move forward with my life and figure some things out. And it's like, wow, that's really nice. That's a good sentiment. Does it translate to good TV? No, not necessarily. Amanda does. I think she can be very funny. And if you just laugh at her, she's already leagues better than Anne Marie. I think it's just a matter of like, yeah, I don't think she's a good housewife. I think she brings not a lot to the table except for weird ass comments and her very strange life. And then acting like she's this rich person. Like, you can tell that all of these women on the cast look at her and they can smell her coming from a mile away. Look at this new money, fake money, whatever it might be, coming our direction. Like, no, we're not dealing with that. Eventually push will come to shove and they're going to have to confront her, and it's going to be kind of fun to watch. That compared to what Anne Marie was, Anne Marie just sucked, flat out sucked. She brought nothing to the table, but she was also just an absolute dud. At least Amanda has the delusion going for her. So I'm at least rooting for that.
Okay. All right. You sold me. I'm on your side now. That is true, because like those scenes, I'm still stuck on To Protect Myself. That was fucking funny. But
come on over.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just watching her. Once I get over the cringe factor, I think I'll laugh more. Like right now, I'm still in that like phase. Like, oh, come on, don't say that. I think I just got to get over that and just lean into it. And I will give you that. She is more entertaining than Anne Marie ever was. So she's got that going for her. But let's jump into this episode. And we start out, again, I was reminded that I was like, oh yeah, Sedona. Right. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
I even said like, wait, did we just get here? Why didn't they show us traveling to Sedona?
They did. Remember, it was a 2-minute or 2-second clip of them on an airplane, which usually we get shenanigans 30,000 feet in the air. No shenanigans, just a flight. That's what I've noticed this trip has become. We're literally just a third party on this trip, and not in the the classic way of like, oh, we get to be a fly on the wall. We're actually going through the steps of this trip with them when nothing's happening. We're just like hanging out, watching them do shit.
Wait,
It's
I also just remembered that I think the flight was like 45 minutes, but Amanda stood the whole time on her
Mhm.
laptop working. And then obviously we get to see it in this episode where she's in the car on the phone taking work calls, saying that she dreamt about the text. Like, she's so weird. She is bizarre to me, and I think she's very funny. But yeah, I agree with you. There's not a lot going on. It's not even like when we go on trips, like I know that housewives trips are a lot different. Like you go on a girls trip, the girls are always having a great time. There's always chaos. There's always something going on. There's always one girl who stays out way too late and they don't know where the hell she is. Like we're not expecting that. It's a housewives
Mhm.
trip. It's going to be a different format of drama and issues and arguments. This is like none of them. This is just this is almost like a work trip to like fucking Toledo. No shot at Toledo, not necessarily, but it does have that feel where they're like, yeah, yeah, these accommodations are fine. Like we're not even really seeing the bedrooms. Like they're
No?
like and maybe Sutton's to blame for this because it's just such an underwhelming place. I've always wanted to go to Sedona. Let me bring all these women with me and force them to stay in this weird mining town. Like that's the vibe I'm getting. And there's just nothing to speak of. It's like, all right, what are we doing today? We're gonna go on a
Shopping
hike.
again.
Yeah, we're gonna go on a hike. We're gonna try to shop at least as best as we can as very, very rich women in Sedona, Arizona. I think there might be some crystals that we can buy. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Even just like the fucking like zooming in on how much they're spending. They're spending like $1,300, and Dorit has like an armful of like jewelry and stuff walking out of there. Like they're not even spending a like a housewives level amount of money. It's just very funny to watch. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense why this would be a cash trip, but again, it's just goofy.
Yeah, I agree. Hold on one sec. You keep freezing. Your audio doesn't. I wonder if that's my connection or yours.
It happens sometimes. It catches up. So that's the good thing about the
It
local
usually
is it'll
does.
pull.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The
All right.
local will pull from my feed and I'm not freezing on my end. So that's good.
Okay. Just wanted to check before we keep going.
Yeah. Should be fine.
But you get a split group activity in the beginning of this episode. You got Tilly, Kyle, and Sutton and Erica, and they're going to a vortex out in the middle of the desert. Now, what is a vortex? Are you going to vomit and collapse? Are you going to get vortex to another world? We don't know yet.
Yet we never find out what a vortex is.
We kind of, yeah, no. They did explain that. They said it's
The
a Sutton.
electromagnetic pulse within the
No,
town or whatever, but like
Sutton said what it was later. She said that
Sutton couldn't even pronounce vortex. She said vertex, vtex, vortex. I'm not sure what a
I'm
vortex.
telling
Right?
you,
That's
it's
the word.
somewhere in here. She said what it was. It's like a center. Oh, there it is. It's a center of, and there are multiple centers of energy around the Earth, apparently. And they are these vortexes. One of them is in Sedona, Arizona. Of course. Why wouldn't it
Why
be
not?
there? But anyway, the other crew is
West
going
Hollywood.
shopping. Oh, and Amanda's going on the hike as well. And the other half of the crew, they're going shopping in Sedona. So I don't know if Sedona is like a shopper's paradise. I'm not gonna take Amanda's word for it later when she mocks it. I don't know. Like the Native American jewelry and shit like that shit is expensive. Turquoise is expensive usually. So I'm not entirely sure if this is a place where it's like, oh, you can actually spend a pretty penny, or if Amanda's right. I kind of want to research it, but I'm also not going to.
I think it's more like Tilly and Dorit buying a bunch of jewelry with turquoise in it, like you just said. It's
Yeah.
not a shopper's paradise in the sense of like buying clothes. Like as much as I want to make fun of Amanda for all of the name brand bragging, you're not going to find like a cool dress or something. You might find some cowboy boots if you want to do that, but I don't think any of them are really like looking around shopping for clothing, which is what I would say.
We had to pause briefly there for a technical difficulty. And while we were paused, I went ahead and Googled it and researched it. Guess what? It is a shopper's paradise, apparently. And it
Oh,
is wildly expensive. The cost of living there is 33% higher than the national average. And it's high end pricing for tourists. They are known for their art galleries. Sedona is filled with galleries featuring Native American art, contemporary Southwestern pieces, and bronze statues. There's also a lot of arts, like paintings and shit. So there you go. It is expensive to shop in
How
Sedona.
about then? Why wouldn't they showcase that? Like,
They
I feel
did
like
with
what
the $3,000, but that's the thing. Like Beverly Hills
was
Housewives
goofy.
can drop 10K in a store
That's what I'm
easy.
saying. Like, and maybe they just didn't go there. And again, the whole trip just feels kind of goofy and off. And I do blame Sutton wholeheartedly. But I don't know. If you're Jennifer Tilly, if you're a Kyle or somebody, like go to the art show, like some sort of art show, and like buy some fucking painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I don't
I
know.
feel like they do that type of thing all the time, but to not see that here when it's almost like they're openly mocking the shopping because Amanda said something. It's kind of goofy the way that they produce that.
That's interesting. Well, I'm glad we figured it out at least, but
Yeah, now
we
I'm
get
pissed
back
off.
now I'm mad again. No.
Yeah, now I need to
But,
come to fight for my friends over in Sedona.
well, let's get back to the hikers. And the psychics and gurus say that this falls on a ley line. Back in the 60s and 70s, a lot of psychics and gurus used to go there. Now, all we get is them walking and Tilly talking, which we have seen 40 times when they're on a trip or something and Tilly is holding court, which is fine. We love Tilly. That's what Tilly does. I like that there is this underlying agreement amongst the OG housewives that they just don't take Amanda seriously. That
Yeah.
everything she says is like in one, and it's going to come to a head at some point, I'm sure, and they're going to check her, like you said earlier. But like in this moment, is she always this talkative? I love that Erica is like, well, yeah, that's her appeal. That's why she's an Oscar nominated actress. And going to a confessional, like, I don't think she knows who Jennifer Tilly is. And it's a good moment because what they're highlighting, and they're doing it in a subtle way, is that money talks and wealth whispers. These ladies are cultured, worldly. They know things, they know people. Amanda's trying to be that and falling so short. And it's so obvious, but they're not doing it in a loud way where it's like alienating Amanda. They're just kind of letting her do her own thing and then they do their own thing. And that part is funny to me.
Yeah, it works out perfectly too, because if we were watching a show where Amanda was actively trying to get to know them and trying to like connect on some level with them, and they were being mean to her, pushing her away because she was younger and had money that was relatively new, and she didn't have as many like cultured roots in LA or whatever it may have been. Instead, it's her personality is so like brazen and just so like braggadocious and so fucking annoying, to put it really plainly, that now it's funny. Now it's like,
Mhm.
okay, if you guys do bully her in this way, this is actually well accepted by probably most of the audience, because we have so many questions about Amanda. And if she keeps talking like this, I don't blame them if they just take a swat every once in a while. We're not going to feel bad about that, which is where we get into trouble, where it's like, all right, guys, like open up to the newbie, try to bring her in and show her the ropes a little bit. No, okay, you're going to be assholes. I don't want to see that, especially with a cast like this where we've been complaining that the core group is getting so closed off that they're just
Mhm.
not accepting any new people. If they did that and Amanda was really trying, we would be on the other side of this. But right now, it's just kind of funny to watch.
I agree. And it'll be interesting to see what the straw that breaks the camel's back is and who it's going to be with. I have a weird suspicion it's going to be somebody that hasn't been speaking up about it, that hasn't made
Mhm.
confessional comments, like Dorit out of left field, or Bose, or like Kyle, just kind of Kyle. Yeah. Yeah. Like somebody
Could
that
be
you wouldn't
Kyle.
assume to jump in and be like, all right, that's enough, and just drop the hammer. Like it's not going to be Erica. It's not going to be Sutton. So I'm really genuinely, I want to see that part. Like I'm looking forward to that.
Well, did you see the clips for next week? I don't even know if it was next week or somehow a mid-season trailer. I don't know how many episodes we've watched so far, but it looks like Dorit just like tries to console her a little bit when she kind of goes
Don't
off
touch
the
me right
deep
now.
end. Yeah, don't touch me right now. So it could be Dorit. And I think that would actually be great. That's a good full circle moment for Dorit's new character and her new
Uh,
persona that she's been building on this show for the last 2 seasons. She's, again, I can't say this enough. Everybody's really likable. Dorit is very likable, but even more than that, Erica Jane's comment just immediately going to, I don't talk about Jennifer Tilly like that. Like, do you even know who
right.
she is? This is the most likable that Erica Jane has been since she got on the show. Her
I
first
agree,
season, she was
actually.
great. Since then, falling off, rightfully so with the Tom Girardi stuff going on there, but she never really recovered after that. And this season seems like she's coming back into form, which we desperately need.
Yeah. And if that's all we get from this year, right? If this is a wash, as it's looking like it's going to be, but we've got a Dorit that is more confident in this new persona. You've got an
Mhm.
Erica Jane that's getting back to her roots. If that's what we can pull from this, okay, like that'll be enough for me. And hopefully next year they can figure something out. And Rachel Zoe, I mean, she is a delight. She's a great
She's
addition to this
great.
show. So
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying her. So I guess there's pieces here, right? And when we have pieces, we have a little bit of hope. I know that we get let down by the show a lot, but there's something to root for, guys, right? But what I really wish we had seen is this group, especially doing mushrooms in the desert. That
Oh,
should have happened.
absolutely. Absolutely should have happened. We actually thought that it may have happened or, some sort of adjacent to peyote or something along those lines when we watched the trailer before the season started and saw Jennifer Tilly wandering around Sedona. They gave her a filter where it looked like she was a little like out of it or maybe a little high on mushrooms or whatever it may have been. We all kind of thought that. And obviously, once we get here, it's just no, they went on like a mile and a half hike until he couldn't handle it. And then she was crawling up the mountain, which is just hilarious to watch. But I agree with Erica. We just walked all the way up here. Yeah, it's nice to look at, but like, just I'm not feeling any energy. Give me some
Yeah, let's
mushrooms.
do
Maybe I will.
drugs.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a great line. I enjoyed that. I do wish they had OC when they did mushrooms was one of the very select few episodes we enjoyed. So
yeah.
I do
Something
think
like
there's
that, or
something
like
there.
at the very least, like tell us that you're taking a gummy. I think Kyle said that she's taking gummies here and there. Like at least just tell us you guys are having like a goofy fun time. Then I'll look at it a little differently because when we get to the top of the plateau and everyone just kind of breaks away and they're doing their own thing, Tilly's doing a quirky thing where she's feeding water to her crystal. You
And talking
flash
to
over
it.
to yeah, and talking to it, which I'm sure she does all the time. You can't convince me that that was just theater for the show. Amanda's sitting down and doing like the full meditation, admittedly funny. Like, and she is not trying to be funny. She's taking it very seriously. I wish that we could get to the point and just kind of fast forward to the point where people have comments out loud about her. Like, oh, look at Amanda over there doing that. I just want to see her reaction. I want to see how she handles that. Nobody's like really ribbing her. They're just
You
going
might
to their
have.
confessions
Maybe
and
that was
talking
the
about it.
tears.
Oh, it could be. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see.
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't understand how she doesn't ever read the room. Ever.
No.
Not even like the first sentence of the room. Like she can't read the word in the room. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, Dorit and Kyle come back up, which of course, because that's their storyline for years now.
It's
And
the only thing that's going on too.
that is also true. But it goes back to the reaction that Kyle had, or lack thereof, I guess, according to Dorit, in all of this stuff, where she's venting to her about PK, and you get lines, and we talked about that when she said it with the, well, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. That comes up later. And her whole thing, Erica's whole thing, is maybe just kind of back off. And I agree so much where it's like in the moment, fake it. Hey, I'm here for you. Hey, you know what? Yeah, PK is a dick. Do that and then pull yourself out of it because now she's
Yeah.
getting ingratiated into this whole thing. Mo's getting ingratiated into it. We're playing he said, she said. That's all this is. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. And at the end of the day, I think Dorit would do a lot of favors. And I'm not telling her that she can't have these reactions. I'm sure it's really difficult dealing with that big piece of shit. But at the end of the day, like PK will bury himself. No, we don't have the ins and outs of everything. No, we don't see the text messages. No, we don't know. But at the same time, we do know that this guy would just up and leave his kids for a month at a time. We do know that he would pop in for a night on his way somewhere else. So all of the evidence that we've been given up until this point leads me to believe that PK is a giant piece of shit. I will not change that. I think if Dorit's able to, and that's, I get it's asking a lot because she's going through a lot, but if she's able to even herself step back from this, give PK enough rope and he'll hang himself.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This is the atypical housewife breakup, housewife divorce. We only get really one side of the story, but we have enough evidence where we formulate an opinion. And it's just
Sure.
that. It's just an opinion of what PK is. We do not know what's going on in those text messages. We do
No.
not know if Dorit is trying to hold him accountable for things and not letting him see his children when he wants to, if she's working around the lawyers, whatever may be suggested along the way from Mo, from PK to Kyle to whoever. Kathy Hilton probably gets involved at some point. Somewhere along those lines, the truth is in there, but we only really know what Dorit is telling us. We only really know what Dorit is also telling the rest of the cast. But if you're Kyle, like we talk about this before too, why? Like, why are you even getting involved? It's got to be exhausting. It's almost like she wants to take PK's side. And we've also talked about that, where maybe there is more of a friendship there. We talked about this last week, where maybe she's being nice to PK and trying to help him to get back in Mo's good graces so she can save her marriage. I still think that's probably the most likely. But again, you're taking so much of the hardship, whereas those two are sitting over there like, all right, yeah, maybe we'll go to the bar tonight. Hey, you want to go up to Aspen for the weekend? I told Kyle what was going on. Maybe she'll talk to Dorit and you'll be able to like get in there again and have a conversation with her on like Wednesday. That's probably what's happening. So Kyle being the go-between, it's a dangerous job. And I don't understand why she wants to do it when every time she makes an offhanded comment, she just gets whacked by Dorit. It can't be fun, and it's definitely not worth it.
No, and I think, like you just said, the biggest thing, we're not here to dictate people's emotions and feelings, but at the same time, Dumb and Dumber are off there like kissing girls in front of cameras and going to Aspen, like you said, pouring champagne on people. And you two, Dorit and Kyle, you guys are sitting having these long emotional conversations about this, which is again fine. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair that those two idiots get to go and gallivant and have fun, and these two are working through some really hard shit. I'm on their team here. I know it sounds like I'm saying you guys need to figure it out. I'm not.
Yeah.
I wish that they were in a place where they were going out and taking pictures with a bunch of hunky, sweaty dudes on the dance floor and like posting that. I wish that their get back was to meet those idiots where they're at and start doing some outlandish shit. That would be awesome. And that would be such a great fuck you to those guys. And like when Mo says things, I don't think he doesn't strike me as a deep analytical thinker. So when he's like, PK showed me the text and I believe him because he said it said that Dorit's trying to keep him from seeing the kids. Here's what I think that text said. Hey, Dorit, I'm coming into town for 2 hours. I've been gone for 2 months. I love to pop in and see the kids. No, I don't care about their fucking schedule. I'm their father. Dorit, you can't do this and disrupt us. They haven't seen you in 2 months. Where have you been? They need more of a connection and more consistency, PK. Oh, here you go again. I always do this shit, Dorit. This is why I left. This is why I wasn't happy with you. That's what I imagine that conversation looked like.
I'm sure that's pretty much to the T exactly what that conversation was. And again, this is really just a microcosm for guy relationships, guy friendships, and girl friendships.
Mm-hmm.
You even see that when they cross back over to the bar where you have Bose and Rachel and Dorit all kind of talking about the same thing. I think it was Rachel that said, like, this is friendships. It's like every day you really have to work on this. You have to do this. You have to do that. That is not guy friendships at all. PK and Mo are not talking about this one iota unless they're out and PK's looking at his phone and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what Dorit said. Now I could see, PK, yeah, fucking Alex Baskin. But yeah, like that's what's going on. So Mo has no fucking clue, nor does he give a shit what's going on with the two of them. He's just involved in his own stuff. Doesn't care how it's going to affect Kyle. He's definitely not worried about what PK's doing and how it's going to affect Dorit. But he's talking to Kyle right now and they're having a conversation. So yeah, I read a text message the other day and I believe him. I believe what's going on. There was no emotion behind that at all. It was not. If this was vice versa, and for whatever reason, PK ended up with custody of the children and Kyle and Dorit were talking about it, Kyle would be outpouring with emotion. Like, can you please talk to PK and try to figure this out? Instead, it was Mo just like, I don't fucking know. I read a couple of text messages. Look pretty good to me. Let the man see his kids. What are we doing?
Exactly.
That. He wasn't even like lobbying. He was just stating what he thought. And it was like, all right, cool. And I'm like, wait, this wasn't some deep interconnected conversation between Kyle and Mo where they're hoping that maybe they can help out Dorit and PK. They were just like, yeah, what do you think's going on over there? Are you talking to Dorit? Nope, not really. She doesn't want to talk to me. Yeah, PK wants to see the kids. I saw a text.
She should let him see the kids.
That's what's going on. And again, like it's not that deep. And that just kind of goes to show you that Kyle shouldn't really be involved. If these are the conversations you're having, and then you're coming to Erica and you're like, well, look, I mean, there's two sides to every story. It's like, how did you're developing this whole thing about Dorit and PK based on Mo saying he believes the text messages that he saw. Like,
Yep.
there's just not enough there for you to do this, and you're really stretching it for what? So that Dorit can turn around and bop you again? I don't understand why you're doing this.
You do, because you already said it. It's to get back in Mo's good
It
graces,
might
or
be
to
that,
not even
yeah.
that, but just
But
to. I think it's a
the way I
common
just
ground that
labeled
they
that
can.
is well,
Go
the
ahead.
way I just labeled that is even funnier then. That's how ironic it is. Mo doesn't give a shit about PK and the kids. So by Kyle doing this and taking PK's side, he's not going to suddenly be like, wow, that's the woman I married. He's going to be like, wow, thanks for helping out. Now me and PK can go to Thailand together, and he's not going to worry about this.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think it's more. It's a conversation that she knows that they can have, and it won't get contentious. She
Yeah,
knows
okay.
she can bring that up, and they can have a conversation, and maybe sometimes that's enough.
Fair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get an update from Keely and Bose and their fertility journey. These shots are really affecting her. She's in bed. She's not feeling good. So I I still love Keely. He still seems very supportive and like a very nice man. So I'm rooting for them. Obviously, I hope that this all works out. Didn't you say? Did we get confirmation that she's pregnant?
No,
I don't want to
we
say
definitely
that
got
if we
they definitely got engaged or maybe even married, but
let's check because I wouldn't want to spread any false info.
no, she's not currently pregnant, according to Google AI.
Okay.
Which, who knows if that's right.
No idea. But all right. So I didn't want to put that out there. So they're engaged. But yeah, let's all hope that this works out for them. And then we get to Kyle and Amanda. Now, oh, Amanda, you watched the show. You bought Kyle Richards' house to get on the show. You know his name's fucking Avi. What are we doing? Ari? Ani? Adi? Did she have a? I don't know. What do you think, Kyle? She's like, oh, Avi? Yeah, dude. Like, what about it? And I guess her friend or her assistant, I didn't get that part, heard from Avi. She was talking to Avi, and Avi said if she wants the real dirt on Sutton, to give me a call. Now, my question for you, did this happen? Under what guise did this happen? And is Avi out there just talking shit?
Yes, across the board. 1,000% yes. I really do
I
think
agree.
something happened, and Tilly kind of alludes to this. I don't think that Tilly knows exactly what happens because Sutton plays everything so close to the chest. But I do genuinely believe that something happened with Sutton and Avi. Like, I don't think Avi left. I think Sutton fired him. I think something went wrong. I think they got into a huge blow up. And he was on a podcast talking about how his relationship between the two of them kind of diminished. And he didn't really go into details. So we know that he's willing to talk. I guarantee you, I love Avi, but he's very eccentric. I could see him out in West Hollywood having a couple of drinks, finding out that somebody's somewhat loosely connected to a new housewife. New housewives need dirt on the existing housewives. We know how that fucking works. Hey, tell her to give me a call. He got a couple of drinks at him and probably did this. I think all of this happened. And I also do believe this is fine for Amanda to bring up. This is actually relevant information that nobody on this cast, like we've all had discussions about it. We started the season sitting down with Erica, Dorit, and Kyle talking about Avi. What happened? It seems that Sutton fired him. Do we know why? There's some weird situations going on there where people are talking about it. So it is actually a relevant storyline. And for Amanda to be the one coming out of left field to be like, hey, I don't care if it's her assistant, her cousin, her fucking mom that went out and just ran into Avi and heard this information. It doesn't really matter because this is a good way to present it back to Sutton in front of the whole group to talk about it, which we know how this is going to happen. And this is the problem with me with Sutton. Every time that somebody brings something up, and this is why I hate when she's the center of a storyline, I know exactly how it's going to play out. Every single time. There is never any deviation. It always plays out exactly how you think. There's a little wrinkle in here because she seems to be taking that stance against Amanda where she's like, poo, you've got this new money. I don't want to be around you. You're really annoying. You talk too much. You talk about your brands, whatever. It's just going to play out the exact same way. We never get answers from her. And then she just breaks down and just moves forward. And it's like, okay, I guess we're not going to get this. But I think it's fine for Amanda to bring this up right now.
I do too. I think that we're at a point, especially now, between the show being where it's at and watching Sutton do this year in, year out, year in, year out. that it's time that we get something out of her in response, because
Yeah.
this is a big deal, because you highlighted Avi in your life so much. Now, I understand, and you get a very clear picture later, that this counts as another loss for you. You're losing a lot of people in your life. I'm sure that stings. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna keep digging. We all watched and enjoyed Avi. He was one of the bright spots on this show, was this wacky friendship that you two had. Not just Avi, but the two of you together was very funny. So
Mhm.
of course we're going to have questions. He's also been your bounce off person other
Yeah.
than Garcelle for years. Like, without him, we wouldn't have a lot of scenes with you. So I think personally, like, you owe the audience an explanation for what's going on. And I do know for a fact, playing it coy and playing it sly like you currently are is not going to work, because people are going to
No.
continue to question you, and you're going to fall on your face at some point, because you're going to do this, what she does later on. You're getting a lot of grace with this group right now. That grace is not infinite. And I feel
No,
like,
it's Oh, yeah, you can finish up. Go ahead.
thanks, dude. I feel like you run the risk of, like, I know what's going on. I know why you're getting cozy with the castmates. I know Garcelle's gone. You're out on an island. So you want to fit into the group. Fine. Whatever. It's the show. Do your thing. This is that last hurdle. If you want to be ingratiated into the quote unquote cool kids group, you have to tell them what happened, because it's going to be the elephant in the room every single time. And the bigger thing is, no matter how well things are going, you can be derailed immediately if somebody wants to throw that back out there and it hasn't been resolved.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And also, I don't, and this is gonna sound mean, but I'm not really meaning it to be this mean. Avi was the best part about Sutton. He was the most interesting. He was the most fun part about Sutton being on the show. To take him away with no explanation, and there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding it. How did you not expect this to be a thing? Like, it's almost as if Sutton just hoped and prayed that this was going to go away. And then she started
Yeah.
talking about how, her ex-husband was, getting an annulment. So she has to change her name. And then she's like, wow, this is a good way to just kind of skirt around that one. It was never going to work because he was such a mainstay, like you said, for years. And in my eyes, every time that we flashed over to Sutton's house, if it was just Sutton there, I'd be like, oh, what is she doing now? It's like, okay, yeah, a little in between scene. But when Avi was there, it was delightful. So if you take that away from us, a very bright spot on a very dim show for the last like 5, 6 years, we're going to be a little upset about it and we demand answers.
Damn it. Now let's get to this marathon of a dinner.
Jeez.
We're in the kitchen. Some of them are in the kitchen. Some of them are still returning from shopping, I believe. Some of them are up in their bedrooms. This was my whole point, right? Because we're sitting waiting for dinner as an audience, and not like wacky fun shits going on in the kitchen while we're waiting, or there's a little spat over here, or hey, a funny story about it. No, we're literally just waiting for over 5 minutes, to the point that, of course, people start to get irritated. But Sutton arrives finally at like 11:05. Not before Amanda has gone around complaining about the tardiness, which to a certain extent I understand. I
Yeah.
also think it's a bold move to continue to double, triple, quadruple down as she does with everything in front
Yeah,
of a
we
group
didn't
that you
see
just met.
that. Which is like we saw a little bit of it, but other people were also talking about it. I mean, Kyle was
Mhm.
talking about it. It didn't seem like she was too far out of line. So when we start this next morning anyway, and we're like, wait, why is Amanda catching this flack? When we see the scenes that pop back in there, I'm like, why didn't we just see that? That would have actually
Right.
been more entertaining, I think, if that like in that 5 minute interval where we were just waiting for them to finally get to dinner, if we just kept going back to Amanda making more comments. And this is just a little production note. I think that we would understand the gravity of the situation and we would probably be like, all right, Amanda, enough. Like, why don't you go fucking get her? Like, we would
Or
get
go to
annoyed with
bed.
Amanda. Yeah. So now we understand one, people aren't going to come to her defense the next day. Two, she does actually deserve to get a little whack. And three, we now understand how annoying Amanda is. But doing that in just like a little super quest, like, oh, yeah, here we go. This is what Amanda did the night before. It's like, okay, why don't you just insert that the night before while we were watching all of this unfold? Instead, we had to watch Kathy cutting up things at 7 o'clock, and we didn't actually cook the chicken until 11 and eat until midnight.
Yes, exactly. They're just sitting around waiting for dinner once again. And this reminds me, because we didn't bring it up earlier, And we must talk about this because as they're leaving to go for their shopping slash hiking expedition, Amanda's got a backpack
Sure
and it's
does.
a Chanel backpack. And she
Mhm.
makes sure that everyone knows it's a Chanel backpack. I'm glad we got catty responses because Sutton's like, Chanel Couture, chef's kiss. Chanel backpack, though. Come on. Come on. But it's more so the highlighting of everything. That's what I said earlier. Wealth whispers. Money talks, wealth whispers. All of these women have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Some of them have like a shitload of money. Sutton makes 350 grand a month from her ex-husband. The only one that doesn't have money right now is Erica Jane, who's building it back up. And Dorit, who the hell knows what PK did with their money? I don't know. We may never find out. We know that their house got foreclosed on, but you're with Kyle Richards and Kathy fucking Hilton, Rachel Zoe. Like, they all have Chanel. They have
Yeah.
more Chanel than you. What do we do? And they
But
have
that's
Chanel
where
Couture.
and that's where it's so funny for me because she's so out of touch that it's humorous at this point.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
point.
watching her do those things in this group of women is hilarious to me because she has no idea what she's doing. It's very much similar to Stephanie over in Miami. We talked about that for weeks, where she would always mention the brand name. She would talk about her shoes, her dress, whatever it was. It did die down eventually, but it has such a different feel. This has such like a fake, such a fraud feel where it's like, we're going to see an article in 6 years. Amanda, the money queen, she got her house broken into and people broke away with fake Chanel bags. And we're all going to laugh about it. We're all going to have a great time with that one. So we'll just wait for that. But for now, at least just appreciate what she's bringing to the table. This level of delusion hasn't been seen in a while.
That's a good point. And we get to do it again because we're sitting there waiting for dinner, like I said. And Tilly compliments both Kyle and Amanda. Oh, wow, those Chanel Birkenstocks would match so well with your Chanel clutch or whatever she had. And it could have been a different company. I don't really remember. But she's like, oh, I love these. I love snakeskin. I love this. I have a lot. I have so many. I have a lot of them. You're talking
Like
to
a
one
lot,
of the
a lot.
a lot. You're literally talking to one of the heirs of The Simpsons. Like, Tilly has God knows how much money. Like, she has fuck you money. And you're sitting there telling her she has bags that are boats. She has Louis Vuitton boat purses. What are you doing? Like, you're embarrassing me in front of Jennifer. Stop it.
It's like, it's almost like sometimes she just reverts back to being like a 6-year-old where she's like, pink. I have so many pink things. I've got this in pink. I have this in pink. Like, all of my stuff is pink. Guys, everything I like, so much pink. Oh my God, that reminds me. Did you see my pink bag earlier? It's like, who are you? Where the hell did you come from?
I don't know what planet she's from, dude, but it is just astounding. And you're right. If you watch her in the right light, it is fun. And as they're sitting outside, we finally ripped the Band-Aid off of this Ari. This was insane.
She
You
did
already
it
played
again.
this card.
I
You
know.
fucking played this card with Kyle. And again, you live in her house. We know you watch the show. Ani, Ari. You mean Avi, right? It's not even a hard name to remember. Like Avi, very easy to remember. But she plays the same fucking card again, and she doubles down this time, and she's like, "Yeah." And Avi said, "Tell Amanda to hire me. It'll piss Sutton off. You should hire him. I have a full team." Fuck.
I'm very happy.
How did you insert that in there like that? How did that happen? And then she keeps like right on going.
Look, I actually thought that comment was fine because Sutton's comment was meant to be petty. I don't know if it was towards Avi or Amanda, probably both in some way. So by saying, "Oh, I have a full team," funny, like that's actually a good little get back. Why not? I've got a full team. I'm very happy with them. I don't need your rejects.
If she wasn't saying all the other stuff, it would have hit really hard.
Yeah.
But because she does all the other stuff, it just is more of the same. It was just so funny.
That was the thing too. Like I really have been thinking a lot about Amanda. And I think that like when she inserts herself, like it's somewhat, at least in this episode, it's well timed. And the stuff she's doing is fine. It's just the off comments that she makes about her backpack, about the other bags while she's working on her phone for the next like 7 hours going to dinner. Like those types of things are wild to me and very funny. But when you really think about the stuff that she does in the group, it's like, all right, that was actually the right time to say that. This makes a lot of sense. You're actually right to bring this up straightly or strictly to Sutton in front of the group. This is completely fine. We need to see what Sutton says. So I have nothing wrong with the way that she's doing things. It's just the other things that really don't matter at all that she's doing that are like, what are you doing, lady?
Yeah, I can't get a read on it. It is shocking. But Sutton, she's a little timid, and I don't know if that is her trying to contain herself. I don't know if she's just really uncomfortable with this conversation, which again lends to the theory that something bad happened, something that we need to talk about happened. But we get more from Tilly, which I think she's the key to this puzzle. And she's talking about what happened. Not entirely sure what happened. I thought it was temporary. The more interesting thing was that she talked to Avi, and Avi thought it was temporary. So that tells me this was a blow up fight. Something happened that set Sutton off, and she went off the rails and tore him a new one. Probably unrightfully so. It probably was not warranted. And that caused her to fire him on a whim. Now, the temporary part, I think that she's embarrassed and she doesn't want to hire him back because she knows that she stepped too far.
Yeah, that's definitely true because I feel like when this happened, we all found out about it very quickly. Like
Yeah.
we knew almost instantly what had happened. It was like breaking news for Bravo.
Mhm.
Just because again, and I'll give him a lot of credit, he was very delightful on screen. So we all wanted to know that right away. But he was also talking. I mean, he was on Twitter replying to people. He was in Instagram comments. He went on a podcast. He was mentioned a lot of different times, and he was always just kind of floating around with what happened. So I do think that that actually makes a ton of sense. Your theory about Sutton just being embarrassed, like
That's what
this
I think.
whole thing unraveled. I didn't mean for it to be completely done. I just needed a break from him because this happened. We still don't know what happened. We probably will never find out what happened. I don't know if he signed an NDA or something, but whatever happened and whatever I guess resulted in all of this is between the two of them, and it's up to Sutton to share that with the rest of us. But I agree. I think she was probably just embarrassed and she couldn't hire him back after what he was doing. And we've seen Sutton before. It doesn't seem like she gets a lot of advice from other people. She just kind of does
Mhm.
things on her own. She seems to be in a much better place, at least.
She really
Uh,
does.
I don't know if that's just repairing the relationship with her mom, or you want to read more into it and you thought that she was an alcoholic last year. It looks like she's not drinking nearly as much. I've been watching her in these parties and dinners and stuff. She's really not drinking at all. So I don't know exactly what happened to her, but she looks a lot better and she feels a lot better. She's connecting with Dorit and certain things. So that's nice to see. But with the Avi thing, it's clearly a soft spot. And I feel like that's when the old Sutton comes back, is when we have to try to get her to emotionally answer for something. She just can't quite do it. And that's where we just hit an absolute dead end.
I think it's really interesting that we now have different personas that we can point to.
Yeah.
Sutton Brown. Sutton Brown is on a healing journey.
Mhm.
Sutton Strack. Sutton Strack got to attack.
Yeah.
You like that?
I like that. I like that a
think I
lot.
could have done better, but that wasn't bad.
That's
Now, Sutton's stance on this is I don't really believe it. I'm not comfortable talking about it. We had a friendship, but it was a professional relationship at the end of the day. Tilly, they had a really good relationship until they didn't. I don't know. But the one thing I will note in this moment, and I'm still having a silly, goofy, fun time, everybody. All right. These ladies collectively, and I don't know if it's the time of night after the long day. I'm not going to chalk it up to that because of the other evidence that we've seen against them. They seem to not care at all that they're on camera, that they're supposed to be recording a show. This seemed like the most checked out, tapped out 10 minutes that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think there has to be something said for how long of a day it was. And I think
Okay.
the next morning, I don't know if this was a weird subtitle thing, but maybe you caught it too. When Kyle goes in to check on Bose, she says, "Oh, you're not feeling great. Are you hungover?" At least that's what it
Yeah.
said on the subtitles. But I didn't really hear her say hungover.
I heard her say it. I heard her
Sounded like
say it.
okay, so she definitely said it.
Yeah.
So in my mind, these women were walking around drinking margaritas for like 5-6 hours waiting for this dinner to finally come out, and they hadn't eaten since lunch. They probably
Okay.
got a little tipsy, a little out there, and then by the time the dinner was finally there at like what 12:15, I think we were calling
I
it.
think that's when it was.
I
Yeah.
I think they were done. Like they had probably stopped drinking. They were drinking water and just completely tuned out. But the other part of that is, like I said before, they know too. When you try to get anything out of Sutton, you're getting nowhere. So it's
That's a good
almost like
point.
they just, between those two things, I'm giving them a pass because it's like, we're not going to get anywhere. Why exert the energy to go after Sutton to try to get answers that we're never going to get? Let's just leave it up to Amanda. If Kyle wants to interject here or there, or Tilly wants to interject here or there, let him go. I'm done. I'm tired. I just want to eat food and literally go to bed right afterwards.
All right, that's fair. I'll give you that one. But Sutton and Dorit do have a nice moment because, Sutton has made attempts in the past and then screamed at Dorit for no reason. So we've seen this song and dance before, but it does seem like they're actually building a better rapport with one another. Sutton's like, it's okay. I did this all to myself and I'm a better and stronger person for it. So she's taking the steps to move forward with it. And I do like that Sutton is not pointing fingers and that she's taking accountability seemingly for a wide range of things. It's not so much just this, just that. It's like, I didn't love who I was before and I'm trying my best to be a better person. I need to be a good friend and a better person to myself. Now, all well and good. I agree with you. She seems better. She looks better. All of those nice things. It's just going to be and continue to be very damning with the timing of all of this and the lack of your friendship with Garcelle and the lack of her on the show. But now you're flipping the script. Is it because you genuinely want to be better, do better, get better? Or is this a survival move because you don't want to be solo on the show?
It could be any number of those things. Me personally, I don't care. I just don't like I don't want that to be a centerpiece for the storyline moving forward. When I say and when we say we want the core members of this cast to step it up and do things, I want them to be involved with each other. I want things to happen between Kyle and Erica, Dorit and Erica, whatever triangle you want to look at in there. I need those things to go down that way. I don't want Sutton involved in that. Sutton could be a secondary person in there. It's just not compelling and we never really get anywhere. And at the end of the day, if we do get somewhere, it's not like we feel this relief like, oh, all right, cool. We get a relief because it's over and we get to move forward. But then usually there's nothing there. So that's why when I say that I want them to step up, I want them to get involved and start some drama with each other, like get into a tiff and then come back and be friends. Like that's what we want to see between them. I don't really care about Sutton's name change. Her relationship with her mom is great, but again, it's just not that great for this show. It's not great for a housewives show. It's like, okay, we already did that last year. Let's just move forward. And when it comes down to it, we're not going to find out about what's going on with Garcelle because Garcelle's not talking, which is good. And we're not going to find out what's going on with Avi. So let's just leave the Sutton stuff to the side.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Let's get to the morning after. And we're in the kitchen. Amanda is sitting there on her phone and her laptop, and Erica's sitting there, and she's like, oh, my team told me my new website's up. It's going to be so good. It's going to be great. It's really amazing. And Erica...
We looked at her website last week, by the way.
We did.
Fucking travesty.
It's a MySpace page. It's a MySpace page with a background of her face. Like, that's all it is. It's not... There's nothing on that page that screams, let me teach you about money. It's a narcissistic ode to yourself. Like, that's all that was. So, anyway, Erica could not care less. Is it could care less or could not? Could not care less. Because you have no cares left to give. Yeah.
But Erica, when she's going and sitting down, I don't know if you got the vibe from this the same way that I did. And she's, they made sure to show us what time it was. It's 11:33 in the morning. Erica's making a margarita. I'm going to need this margarita to get through.
Hair of the dog.
Normal move. Hair of the dog. You're on vacation. Who the fuck cares? I think they were hoping Amanda would have a comment about the drinking. I think that's what they were looking at.
Is that like, a setup?
Maybe there's a little. I don't know if Erica set it up where she's like, oh, let's see. I don't think Erica really gives a fuck about Amanda. I think she's going to do whatever she's going to do. But I do think production was like, maybe people can read into this. Amanda gave her a look when she said she was doing that. Oh, that sounds great for you. Are we going to take that the wrong? Like, please, don't do that. We're not doing this. It was a weird comment that she said. I don't want to hang out with people who aren't drinking when you ordered a mocktail at Tilly's house. But it seems like we've moved on. Can we just not do this time?
For the love of God. Okay. I cannot talk about this shit anymore.
Yeah, we're done with that.
I'm so exhausted.
Like every damn show. It's like, do not lean into this. I know what you're doing, Please do not. And then they tried it again too when I forget who the third person was that walked downstairs. Was it Kyle? Or
Rachel.
Bose, maybe? Oh, Rachel. When Rachel walked in and she was talking to the two of them, it's like, oh yeah, I made a margarita. Oh wow, good for you. Okay, good. And it's like, we're not doing this. Let her drink her fucking
Stop
margarita.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, from a recovering alcoholic, can we please give it a rest for like
Yeah.
4 months? Every single show has somebody accusing somebody of being an alcoholic or somebody's going through shit with it. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I think that
It's
they
but it's
are, I think they're,
it,
but here's the thing, just real quick. I obviously I want to highlight stuff like that and I want to talk about it. I
sure.
want to spread the word. I feel like they're taking, and they being the production teams at Bravo, I think they're taking advantage and they're like, this is the new trend. We did sound baths, we did this, we did that. This year it's alcoholism. Can we not force it? Like if it comes up organically and it's, Mary and Robert Jr. Sure. If we want to talk more about Sutton, who has had, I'm not going to ever call her an alcoholic, but an interesting relationship with alcohol. If she wants to talk about her shit more, absolutely. Like that kind of stuff, I will never say don't talk about it. Kyle and her sobriety. Great. No more new people accusing other people baselessly that they're an alcoholic, please. Please.
Yeah. It's almost like pretty much what you said, where it's becoming the new trend. And also, just look at the things that you just fucking counted off, by the way. Sound baths, the Roaring 20s parties, alcoholism, or at least claiming that someone else is an alcoholic. All of those things fucking suck. I hated all of those things. I don't like any of those things. They are not fun. Please go back to being fun. And it was more fun when they were all drunk and being messes at night, making fun of each other and making offhanded comments and then getting into drama. That was a good time. Doing this is stupid and it makes me not want to watch the show. So don't lean into this one.
Please. Anyway, Sutton had a little moment with Amanda at breakfast. Now, we all know Sutton. We've watched Sutton for years. Was this her really pissed? No. This was her irritated, probably a little bit hungover. And I'm only saying that because they were all drinking. They're up late. I'm not saying it because of anything else, Bravo. Don't fucking do this. But that was her being catty and tired in the morning and saying, listen up, Missy. I heard you're out there talking shit about me being late. All right. You keep Sutton Brown's name out of your mouth. You hear me? I'm going to go drink my coffee alone and try to get my shit together. Now, bye.
This seems like bullshit, like from the beginning. And when they showed us those clips of how many times she actually did say it, I'm like, no, Amanda crossed the line. She went too far.
Shut up.
You could see it on everybody else's faces. Like, enough. Who gives a fuck? Like, I'm sure she was talking about how she could be back home, doing more seminars, making more money,
kids,
ruining Kyle's beautiful house, like whatever it could have been that she could have been doing back home. That's what she was saying. So no, she crossed a line. I don't care for the chronological order that they gave it to us, where it's like, oh, Sutton's flipping out at Amanda for nothing. And I'm like, wait a minute. Immediately out loud, I'm like, wait, everybody else was making comments. Why is she singling out Amanda? That's stupid. Is she mad about the Avi thing? No, roll the clips. She was talking about it for 4 hours and everybody heard her. Everybody's rolling their eyes until he eventually just had enough and told Sutton. That completely makes sense. And this was warranted the next morning. You got to knock her down.
I agree. And that's the thing. There are Miami, right? Miami. And when Lisa gets on that Sprinter van late this most recent season and gets checked, boom, much needed. Everyone was bitching about it. We've seen this happen too many times. Lisa's always late and drastically late. So yeah, get her. Did she get set up by production and production told Lisa that the bus was 2 hours later so she would arrive later? Yes, they did. But is that the point? No, it's not. The point is, everyone there has seemed to accept and acknowledge, like, yeah, it's one of those nights. Like, fuck it. We're just sitting around anyway. Let's have more drinks. And she's late. Okay. You're the only one making it a thing continuously. So, yes, you deserve to be called out. And the way that Sutton called you out, and I know damn well you watched this show, you know that wasn't a real Sutton. She was just irritated with you and trying to swat you away like a little gnat. You don't need to say to Erica, that hurts my soul a little bit. Really? Then you're in for a rude awakening.
I thought that was funny. I thought that was really funny because again, every time that she shows just how disconnected she is from like any sort of real life, is very funny to me. I don't expect what she's going to say. I thought she was going to be up in arms. I thought she was just going to go back after Sutton, try to corner her and be like, hey, do you have a problem with what I was saying about Avi last night? Is that what this was? Instead, it's like, wow, it really hurt my soul. Like, where do you get this stuff from, lady?
I don't know. Probably from one of her self-help courses, but
yeah.
Rachel has joined the conversation, as we know. What I'm starting to pick up on is they're taking shots without taking shots at her. They're doing passive-aggressive moments, which I love a good passive-aggressive comment, so I'm all on board for that. Because Amanda's talking about her sleep score. 61 is 69 last night. No one cares. And Rachel, her way of saying, I don't give a fuck, is I'm done controlling the universe. Or I'm done controlling things. I'm throwing it to the universe. I'm done. Yeah. Okay. And I need to manifest a man. She's changing the topic. She's changing the topic right now. And of course, Amanda, I did that. Great. Let's hear it. When I was 13, I wrote on my vision board that I wanted to marry an Abercrombie model. Lo and behold, my husband tells me one day that he used to stand out front of Abercrombie in jeans.
That's not at all what she meant, by the way.
No.
And for her to out herself like that is so funny. We had that at a weird, like, suburban Philadelphia mall where dudes would stand outside of Abercrombie or Hollister in jeans with no shirt on. It was quickly nipped in the bud, by the way. It probably wasn't out in LA, but I'm pretty sure maybe a couple of weekends you could see that until people got pissed off in the township. And they were like, absolutely not. We're not having these people. Because there were girls
here,
in, like,
I remember
suits.
that. Yeah.
There were girls in like bathing suits and like low cut jean shorts and walking around outside of Hollister and Abercrombie. And it's like, yeah, we're not going to do this. There's children here. We're not going to do any of this. Probably lasted a little bit longer out in LA, assuming that's where Eddie's from. But this is really funny. I manifested an Abercrombie model. No, you manifested a 19-year-old college kid that had a good body, that had nothing else going for him, and this was his part-time job. But yes, tell me more about your husband. Well, that's the one thing that he's missing. He doesn't make any fucking money. I make so much more than he does. I make so much more. He makes in a month. I make in a month what he makes in a year, and that's just unbelievable. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Talking about? Why are you nagging your husband? You should be lifting him up. We haven't met him yet. We did briefly met him, but like we haven't had a sit down to find out if he's a fucking moron or if he actually has a head on his shoulders. Why are we doing this? We're gonna meet this guy and be like, look at this fucking jackass.
Yeah, broke bitch. Like, no, it was shocking. I was like, why? I know you want to make yourself sound cool and shit, but at the cost of your husband's dignity.
Yeah.
Everybody that watches this show is like his friends, people he knows. He'd be like, ooh, damn, like,
damn, dude.
And you know he's gonna wear it on the chin. He's like, that's just how we are. But you know, deep down, he's like, oh God, that wherever he was on Earth in that moment, as soon as she said that, he was 3,000 miles away, and he went, ooh, what was that?
He felt that. See, I was thinking when this aired on Thursday night, he actually ran upstairs really quick and like panicked, found a pair of Abercrombie jeans and came back down without his shirt on. He's like, still got it, babe. I'm right here for you.
That's his comfort blanket. There's a pair of like Abercrombie jeans. They still smell like cologne from the store. Dev worked at Abercrombie for 5 hours. And the lady leading interviews hired her and said, you're going to sit in on interviews. And then that lady body shamed the next person that came in to interview. And you know, Dev doesn't fuck with that. Dev walked out, didn't quit. She just walked out and never went back. That's why I love her. What a badass. But yeah, wasn't standing for that shit. Anyway, let's go shopping again. And on the way to shopping, I loved the low quality zoom in on Erica Jane's face because Amanda's on the phone and she's like, I had a dream last night that my website did launch. And Erica was like, oh, that's so cool. How are you going to talk to somebody else about the person sitting next to you about a story that we watched that wasn't interesting in the first place?
No.
Shut up. And that's what Erica says. She's like, we all have businesses, lady. We all could be on our phones and laptops emailing and acting important. Stop it. We're on vacation.
That was the funny thing is it was such a big talking point for her in the morning. Like, really excited. My new website's up. My team let me know that everything's ready to go. I can't wait to see this. And then like an hour later, it was just a dream that I had, but it felt so real. You know what I mean?
Wait. I
It
didn't put
wasn't
that
set up.
together. That didn't happen?
No.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, you didn't hear that? She said she woke up. She said in her dream it felt so real. And she said I had a text message on my phone, like a note, and it said that the website was all set, but it's not yet. Oh my god. Let me tell you how real this dream felt. I'm like, yo, you're nuts.
Oh,
You're
I didn't
crazy.
put that together.
Yeah.
No one likes to hear about dreams anyway, but wow, that's taking it way too far.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm glad I didn't pick up on that. That would have
Dude, she works too hard. That's the one thing that I've learned about Amanda. She needs a little R&R. Cut loose. You work too hard. You're doing too much.
I don't know. That's fucking nuts. I did not put that together. Thank you for clearing that up for me. Wow.
That was the
Well,
best moment.
that's fucking insane. That's insane. I think I was too busy typing notes to like give that any attention. That's fucking nuts. But we're shopping in Sedona. And as we now know, everybody, Sedona is an expensive place to shop for specific things, such as Native American jewelry, art, things like that, Southwestern culture. Okay. Amanda goes to a confessional. And this is why I had a feeling that it was actually a ritzier area because of her confessional. Because she's like, Sedona's got a shot. Show the fucking Shane Davis for 2 seconds. Sedona. They're all stoked about it. And I defer to Kyle Richards and Jennifer Tilly to know whether or not a spot is like legit. If they're spending coin and if they're into the shit, I'm like, all right, this must be nicer stuff. That's my barometer. So I'm watching them drop $2,000-$3,000 a store, which again, I missed the big ticket where it's like, here's 10 grand for some shit. But I will say adding all that up was fun. Be like, all right, here's, we're spending thousands. That's fun.
I think the funniest thing that I saw was, I think it was when Dorit paid one. My initial thought was, where are you getting that money? Is that a credit card? You better pay that off. Come on now, Dorit.
No.
The other piece of that was the woman at the register was just using like that old silver calculator that everybody fucking had and every
Casio
store
one?
has ever had. Yeah. And she's plugging in the numbers. And not only did they zoom in, they had a graphic at the bottom. This is what Dorit spended, but they also zoomed in on the calculator to show that same total. That's why I got the initial, at least thought that maybe people don't really spend that much money in Sedona, because I'm like, oh, they're breaking out the calculator.
Oh, I see what
this is crazy.
I think it's part of the charm.
Yeah, let's call it.
I think that's what it was. But that is the calculator that you could type 58008 and flip it over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Second grade Steel was typing
bricked
that a
up.
lot. Check it out. And you could take it a step further. 5318008 always made me giggle.
Yeah.
Probably still would make me giggle, but that's what we were doing in second grade, in case anybody was curious.
Also,
Maybe
the type
third.
of calculator that like she probably did the math like 7 times to make sure it was right. Whereas, and like, what happened to our world? What happened to our culture? We used to just do math on a calculator and then wipe it out and then do it all over again, just in case we were wrong. And it was the simplest math. Now we just trust machines that they're right. Come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Even when I had the TI-83, I still double checked my work, and I had games on that bad boy. Remember those? You could like hide the games in the programs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That shit was awesome. I used to play Mafia on that all the time.
Yep.
Now, if you think it couldn't get worse or better, maybe this is how we watch the show from now on. It's just Amanda-isms, and then maybe it'll get a lot more fun, because now we go to get coffee, right? And Rachel's like, yeah, let's go get coffee. Again, you're talking about some like very LA people. I imagine a lot of their Starbucks orders are pretty convoluted and long. Now we get to the coffee shop. Is your matcha ceremonial grade? Rachel doesn't know what you're talking about. The barista's like, what?
I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, please do.
Oh wow, it's the first thing I just typed in. Maybe they heard you, but I typed in ceremonial, CERE, and it popped up right away. What is this shit? A premium high quality Japanese green tea powder made from young shade grown leaves. Okay.
What's the difference?
I don't know enough about matcha. No idea.
I never had matcha.
What does it mean? It's just the highest quality, I guess. Maybe they have like a different standard. You know, instead of, maybe it's like you get dark roast beans versus like light
Okay, here you
roast.
go. Here you go. Here you go. Ceremonial matcha uses the youngest, most tender leaves for a bright green, sweet umami flavor, meant for drinking pure, while basic or culinary grade matcha uses older leaves, resulting in a more robust and slightly bitter taste for lattes, baking, and cooking. She wanted a latte. She got the wrong
Ah,
matcha. She's trying to sound cool and smart and interesting, and she ordered the
mm,
wrong matcha. That's not
it's
for lattes.
so it's the veal of matcha is what I'm getting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Vicha.
think that works. Beach. Oh, matcha.
Hey, now.
Sounds
Anyway,
dirty.
I'm glad that Rachel rolls her eyes. And then just watching her operate in society is baffling. She's like, oh God, no almond milk. We're starting over. We're starting from square one. I did think it was weird that a coffee shop doesn't have almond milk, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
We're driving. I'm gonna mention all of them. And Bose it's a beautiful sunset. She's just videoing the sunset. She's not asking for a third party. Production has this beautiful music behind it, and we get a record scratch because Amanda's like, well, if you did cinematic, it might just shush. Please stop. Is there a limit?
No, the limit does not exist.
Okay, just checking.
I wonder.
Now, let's go to the Mesa Grill at the Sedona airport. Sutton. I'm not usually a stickler for like the little things on trips.
No,
If
this is the worst. This is like that's why I said in the beginning of the episode. This is one of the worst trips I've ever seen. I blame Sutton wholeheartedly.
Is that a reflection of what she's currently going through?
Oh, you want to play that game?
Yeah, kind of. Like, what is that? We're eating at the airport, bro. Like, what are we doing? Why are we not in the
Who
hills?
doesn't love eating at an airport? And like, look, yeah, I do love eating at an airport. It's great. You go to a Chili's in an airport, grab a beer and a triple dipper. Count me in, brother. But
Oh,
that's
God,
if
that's
I'm
a tough
traveling.
flight.
Yeah. Well, would you ever land? I guess maybe a layover, because then you have to fly again. Would you ever land and then eat in the airport? Like if you looked outside and it was just terrible out, it was pouring rain, would you stop and eat in Chili's?
Nah.
You just
Get me the fuck out of there.
destination.
Yeah, when I land, I got to go home. I'm done or get to the hotel. Like, I don't eat really at airports. I don't get hungry when I travel, and then I get nervous because when I was a teenager, I was traveling with my dad, one of the teams he was managing, and I had to take a shit. Sorry, guys, on the airplane. It was not a good time. If that's
So you're just fasting?
No, the point is, here's the point, and I'll give you one more story about airport bathrooms or airplane bathrooms. I could not stop, and we were landing, so I had to land. Yeah, they locked me in the bathroom. They said, you can't come out
That's
until we land.
awesome.
It was not. It was not.
No, it's awesome
Landing.
for me. I'm not worried about you. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
So traveling with you and you were locked in the bathroom, that would be the funniest thing that I've seen.
Yeah, I was locked in the bathroom until we landed. You're not allowed to get up. So they're like, you're in there. This is your seat for the remainder of the flight. And I pooped while landing.
How does that work?
It was not
Did
cool.
you flush? Like, I feel like once you dip under like 30,000 feet, they don't let you flush.
I don't know. I flushed. It worked. I don't know what happened to
And then the landing gear pops out and you land. And what's that splashback like?
What's that stain on the runway? No, but the other one, this was not as funny, but I was in the midst of my alcoholism. I shit you not. I couldn't, I guess, like spread out enough in my seat, fell asleep in the bathroom. Flight attendant woke me up and goes, "Are you good?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." Stumbled back.
All right, let's play this game then. What was a better place to fall asleep in, the Walmart bathroom or the
Target? I would go to the Target
Walmart?
bathroom. No,
Walmart's
Target.
better.
No, I was a little bit classier. I was in a Target bathroom, sleeping in the handicap stall. My biggest fear when I woke up is like I would see like somebody outside of the stall, like in a wheelchair or something, and there's this alcoholic 20-year-old like, "I'm so sorry that you couldn't use the bathroom."
I waited here for 6 hours.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know how long I was asleep for. I just know it's still bright outside. Thank God it didn't close unless I slept overnight. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, Mesa Grill at the airport. Let's eat dinner. Amanda is quiet. So Kyle asks her if she's okay. And she brings up the stuff with Sutton. And she's like, hey. And the way she goes about things too, instantly irritated. Like the way that she tries to talk to people is weirdly both patronizing and overly timid. I don't know how
Yeah.
you accomplish that, but she's
I
nailed
don't.
it.
So I think all of us at home, and I think everybody in the cast understood that that was going to be some sort of a bad spot for Sutton to be in to try to explain this. It was going to bring up some bad emotions. She was going to get upset about it. Amanda didn't. Amanda missed all of that. She just thinks
Mm.
again because of she's just taking it for face value. I guess she's like that was just a professional relationship. Like this isn't that big of a deal. I don't understand what your issue is. Instead of being like, hey, I'm sorry for bringing that up the way that I did. I didn't know that, you still had feelings about it. I didn't know that it was an iffy situation. It's like, hey, that was pretty fucking weird the way that you reacted to that. Do you want to apologize to me? Like, I feel like I stepped on your toes there, but like, do you want to apologize to me? Maybe because
Yeah.
you made me feel weird.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And Sutton lets her know, like, I'm not mad at you. And if I was mad at you, you would know that I was mad at you. That is true. That's 100% true. It wouldn't be a
Yeah.
question mark. If you're questioning it, she's probably not mad. You would know damn well that she's mad at you. Now, when you say it the first time, well, I guess last night you said you're going to cook the chicken, and a lot of people were running late, right? But you said you'd cook the chicken. It's the main dish, Sutton. She's like, okay. And like, she's just trying to brush it. Okay. Okay. It's the protein. Seems really, and now you got her. Sutton Brown's here, or Sutton Strack's here now, because now she's like, well, okay, this seems really trite about me. It wasn't about Avi. No. Okay, but yeah, to hear that, it just was, I don't know. I actually agree with Sutton's analysis of the situation. Don't use me to get attention because that's what she's doing. Now, I don't have a
Mhm.
problem with it. I agree with you. This needed to be said, and I don't care that Amanda was the one to say it. Stay on task. Stay on task here. And if you're going to do this, you can't be cowering in the corner while also going after her. If you want to
Yeah.
play the game, play the game. Let's go. Rip the band-aid off and ask her about Avi. You're not doing that. You're weirdly trying to get an apology while still antagonizing. I don't
Mhm.
understand your motives.
Yeah, no, I don't understand her motives at all. And again, this seems like if you're more of a veteran on this show, you just let it lie. Like
That's what
that
was
did need to
happening. Yeah.
be, we did need to question what was going on with Avi, what happened with Avi. But once it starts getting into that personal territory and Sutton's building a wall right in front of your face, you just back off because
Yeah.
there's no real reason to keep going. It's not going to be entertaining for the viewer, and you're not going to get anything out of this. You're only going to look like an idiot, and people aren't going to come to your defense. And that's pretty much how it played out. Now, I didn't expect Tilly to end up getting some sort of shrapnel getting after her. All she was doing was like, hey, Sutton, like, it's all right.
Love you.
Calm down a little bit. Love you. Just want to check. Don't you dare look at me like that. I'm fine. Leave me alone. It's like you're clearly not fine. Clearly, this struck a chord. This is your closest friend, I think. I don't really know. That's kind of what we have going off of this. This is your closest friend checking in to make sure you're good and to also let you know, hey, just let it go. It's not worth it. We're not doing this. We all look at Amanda and we know she's not worth it. You need to understand this isn't worth it. We're not going to go any
Correct.
deeper on this. You're just going to get aggravated. But to then go after Tilly, which we've seen time and time and time again, and this is why I always hate when Sutton gets in these situations. We have to watch it because you know how it's going to work. Somebody else is going to be collateral damage, and then they're going to walk away and be like, I don't fucking know. This is what Sutton does. And they're going to make an offhanded comment like Tilly did. Maybe this is what happened with Garcelle. You kind of saw that same thing happen. It always has to be about Sutton. It's like, okay, I'm just worried from a viewer
You know what's
standpoint
happening.
that this is going to continue. And I don't want this to continue. I'm okay with it for the one episode because it was Avi centric and we do need to know about that. If it spills over and then all of a sudden Sutton's being mean to Tilly because she's just checking on her and Amanda keeps pushing it, that's going to be really annoying. Any Sutton centric storyline for this show pans out terribly and it's so goddamn boring. And that's the worst part.
And that's exactly what's going to happen because of who Tilly said that to.
Yeah.
That was the big mistake there because all Tilly's doing is venting, and rightfully so. She has every right to say exactly what she said. And I understand what she's saying. And anybody out there understands this is a best friend venting about a best friend. It's not any deeper than that. She's not saying, I don't want to be friends with her. She's saying it really gets difficult to deal with Sutton when she does these kinds of things. Now, by saying it to Kyle, as we saw from scenes from next week, it's going to be exacerbated. And it's going to drive a wedge between you two because Sutton's going to hear from Kyle, who she wants to be best friends with. Yeah, Tilly said, did I write it down? Because it was so different than what was actually said, and it was like a
Oh,
subtle
for the scene from
change.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle's like, Tilly said that, it's always about you, and maybe that was the reason. And that is the reason that Garcelle. It was very matter of fact versus Tilly positing this might be why Garcelle left, because it's always about Sutton.
Yeah.
Kyle makes it into fact immediately. And that was the problem with that, because now it's going to rear its head over and over again. And it's going to alienate Tilly from Sutton. You're going to lose another friend because you keep going to Kyle, and because Kyle is going to spin it into something that it's not. That's what I saw just from that scene from next week.
And we were also hoping and praying that, because we thought this is how Sutton was going to be, and she's been a lot better again. She seems lighter. She seems a little happier. She's a little bit more well-grounded than I thought she was going to be. But in the interim, in the offseason, I didn't really want Sutton back on the show without Garcelle, because I thought that was going to play out way differently. And it was just going to be such a centerpiece and be super annoying and take away from the rest of the show and not allow the newbies to grow. Now it's changed a little bit. Sutton's been a little bit better. But if we're going to force this again, and it's the middle of the season and she's going to lose Tilly, and then she's going to be pining for Erica, Kyle, Dorit's attention for the rest of the season, I don't want to watch that. Like, you should have just gotten rid of her in the offseason if this is how it's going to play out.
Yeah, and it was nice to see, because we haven't seen this before. And I do believe this is the absence of Garcelle that not allowed, that's the wrong word for it, because I think what Garcelle did was highlight throughout the group what people's true intentions were. And I think that that's what kept Sutton from being friends with them, because Garcelle was like, that's not what's happening, you idiot. They're making fun of you, or something like that. It kept her honest. With Garcelle gone, she's able to buy into whatever bullshit. And I don't mind the cast being closer. I like that the lady stepped up and said, hey, Sutton, you're on the right track. Don't let this derail you. It's not that deep. Like, we're still good. Dorit says some nice words to her. Everyone around the table is coming in to kind of give her a pat on the back. But it's always going to be jaded for me now when she goes to a confessional and she says, like, oh, because it's a sweet sentiment. Like, I finally feel like I'm part of the group. This is so nice. I felt like I've been an outcast for years. That is great.
Yeah.
But it's because the absence of Garcelle, who was actually being a real friend to you. And these ladies, it's part of the show. It is what it is, but they're not being a real friend to you. Like, we've seen that actually. So anytime I hear it, I'm like, yeah, great. But I'm always going to put an asterisk next to it, because this is, one, a move to not be alone. And two, the other ladies are leaning further into it because they know Garcelle's not going to check them out of it. And that stinks. And that's where I miss Garcelle even more. I've already missed her a lot. The absence of Garcelle leaves a giant hole for somebody to check the rest of the group. Amanda's clearly trying to be that person, at least with Sutton, and I imagine with the other ladies as well. She can't do that because of how fucking out of this planet she is. So yeah, that's my take on it. It's like great, but
great, but now I'm sure these questions are going to be great, but yep, this is what I expected. Jennifer M2M, why can't I even remember one moment to question or comment on? Boring.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You're right.
Oh boy. Yeah, Rockstar 0521. It's cool if you guys don't want to cover this anymore. It's a snooze fest. Maybe the most boring episode of any Housewives. All nice to each other is so boring. This is a good one from Danielle D, or Dan LD.
Dan LD.
Can we just get the Rachel Zoe project back with Tilly as a client? I actually said at one point today, like, can we just have like a Tilly show and just follow her around instead of Beverly Hills? Like, put Beverly Hills on pause and just do a Tilly show. Yeah, from Lindsay Bucks, Erica's confessionals were killing it this episode. Erica's really back, and I don't want to squander that. And I think that's maybe going to change my disposition on this year. It's almost like a rebuilding year. You get a couple of your heavy hitters to really come back into form, and it gives you some promise later. Dorit's doing better. Kyle, but Erica's really coming back into form, and that gives me some hope moving forward.
Samesies. I got a couple here. Zoe could the play. To be honest, as a millennial, I'd never heard of Tilly or Garcelle before this show. As a millennial, you should have heard of Tilly. That was like peak Tilly. That's when she. I mean, I know she did stuff before that. She's been a career actress. or
Garcelle, I
actor.
didn't know before the show. I don't think.
No, but Tilly. I mean, shit. Take your pick. The
Yeah.
Chucky franchise, Liar Liar, a million other things that I can't think of currently. But she's been, yeah, that was like peak Tilly was when we were
Yeah.
growing up. Tay Hostetler, please do Potomac. What do you mean, please do Potomac? Where you been?
It's not even out tonight. Well, it's out
Yeah.
tonight, but it's not even out right now.
Yeah,
Come on, guys.
we do cover Potomac.
Come on, guys.
Do one or two more if you
from
find a good one.
Jennifer Yuma. Kyle hasn't forgiven Dorit for calling her out about PK, so she's embarrassing her by Mo's word. I
think there's some
so.
truth in there.
Yeah, there is some truth in there, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think you're onto something. I don't know if the evidence you're using is the smoking gun. I think that you're on it. I do think there's some vindictiveness in there, but I don't think it's because, or I don't think she's doing it by using Mo's word, but I don't think you're totally wrong.
And let's see if we get one more.
Oh, from Vanez. They need a recession chef this trip. What would you have cooked for them in Sedona? Oh man, I probably would have done a really like cowboy cut bone-in ribeye, reverse seared with some chimichurri, maybe a corn salsa salad on the side, and then some like elote potatoes to tie it all in. Yeah.
And it would have been ready at like 8 o'clock instead of.
Tell me when you want it. That's when it's ready. You say when, and that shit'll be warm on the table the minute you want it out there. That's what we do here. But
there we go.
Yeah. Look, it's much more fun to cover it this way. So I will. I don't know. I don't know if this show is cooked. If this is it. If this is their sail off into the sunset. I don't know. But it was entertaining to talk about it with you.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We're gonna make the most of it.
Damn right. But well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope. All good here.
Well, Brav Bros are out of here.